Hey, it's Weatherman Ray or Wixman Ray, as you know me. Hey, we're in for another treat here today. We got a little bit of weather going on out there for part of the country. The rest of us are fairly quiet. But till today's Thursday, March 26th, 2026. Can you believe that? We're almost into April. So, as the saying goes, at least I've heard this in the past, is March going to go out like a lion or out like a lamb? So, we'll see. I've seen a big like winter storm set up right at the end of March, beginning of April. So we're almost out of the woods for a big winter storm, but not quite there yet. Maybe a couple more weeks, get into farther into April, maybe we'll be okay. We'll see. All right. So looking at the satellite picture here, pretty clear across the west now. This that system that was out here has moved off to the east, and that's what you're seeing out here. So pretty quiet across the rest. A little bit of thin high cloud going across California, Nevada, and parts of Utah. A little bit of clouds over Colorado there, but nothing significant. Very clear across the south for the most part. A little bit of cumulus across the southeast. Looks like they had a little bit of stratus, maybe some fog out in Alabama this morning, but that's burning off. And there looks like there might be some stratus or sea fog or something out there near, the coastal area of northwest Florida. So, yeah, as we head up north, so we got this frontal system up here sitting from roughly Maine through New York and dragging down through, around Michigan into Illinois and Iowa. And then we got, so this stuff here, you kind of see these blobs, I guess you want to call it. These are some showers and thunderstorms developing here on the southern end, right in this area from Illinois, Iowa, into northern Missouri. Um, so, yeah, that's what we got going on there. So, got some thunderstorms developing, and there's a risk of severe out there today through tonight, anyway. So, yeah, so we'll take a look at that. Oh, and then not last but not least, this is some lower cloud on the backside of the front. We call this cold air stratus or stratoQ. It's just lower cloud because the colder air is coming down over the relatively warmer land. So that's usually what will cause that for the most part. All right. So that's enough of that one. We'll go to our surface observations starting out in the northwest. Pretty nice day out in the Pacific Northwest. It's warming up around 50, so a little coolish, but light winds it looks like for the most part. Looks like a little gusty winds as we head into Idaho here, southern Idaho, and even into parts of Wyoming. Some gusts, maybe up to 40 or so knots, or 40 miles per hour, 30 to 40 across these areas. And that's where that front kind of went through last night. Um, and then up in Montana, it looks like we've got some snow showers up there in the eastern side. So yeah, watch out for that. A little bit of snow there. You might get some minor accumulations. And it's a little chilly up there in the far, like Glasgow's 23. So yeah, the far northern areas in the 20s and 30s, but farther south we're looking at 40s and 50s. So yeah, and we're seeing 40s and 50s, even 60s in southern Wyoming. And down into Nevada, it's definitely cooled across the north, 50s and 60s. So it's dropped, 15 degrees or so from yesterday. And still warm down in Vegas, 88. Not quite as warm as yesterday, but dropped about 5 or 6 degrees there. Looks like 61 in Salt Lake City, so some 60s up north there, and the 70s and 80s as we head down south. Pretty nice day in California. The northern part is cool in the 50s. They got that cold front that kind of is affecting them. But farther south, we got 70s, some 60s along the coast with the marine layer, um, 70s down by San Diego, and then you got some 90s and 80s inland here. Looks like 96 in Phoenix, so it may get close to the triple jet mark out in some of the deserts there. So it's still hot out there. New Mexico is looking like 80s and 90s, so it's pretty warm out there. Here's where we're starting to see some winds gusting 30, 40 miles an hour across the Texas into Oklahoma, back up into Kansas, and even into Missouri. 30 to 40 miles an hour, maybe some gusts to 50 near Wichita there, or getting close to it. And when you can see the front here, we got these north winds. So you see the winds, they're coming from the south here and then north. So that's where our frontal boundary is. Looks like the real cold air is kind of lagging because it's still 70s and 80s behind here. But you get farther north, you're seeing those 50s and 60s. So yeah, so the front's dragging through Kansas, northern Missouri, and then up into Illinois and back this direction towards Michigan and New York, like I told you on the satellite image. We'll zoom in here. You can see some showers and thunderstorms, even some out near Lincoln, Nebraska, over by Omaha. Some showers. It looks like, though, the bulk of it will be east of that area, up over northern Missouri right now. They might be seeing some claps of thunder. These don't look too strong right now. And then we got some stronger storms out here in Missouri, in eastern Iowa into northern Illinois. So later on today, watch out for that stuff. We're going to see some thunderstorms. And on the backside, it's windy too. We're gusting up, 40 miles an hour or so in that general range. So pretty windy. And the coolest areas up farther north. Looks like they've got some 20s and 30s up in Minnesota and up in the Dakotas, same kind of thing. So otherwise, 40s and 50s and 60s as you head south. A lot of bit of rain though as you get north of where the front is. We got a lot of bit of rain. I guess that makes sense. Huh? A lot of good word. A lot of rain. Some good, light to moderate showers, maybe even some heavier at times. Looks like a little bit of snow maybe along this band here, so you might get a little minor accumulations, inch or two or so, if it does accumulate. And then that extends into just kind of hitting the tip of northern Pennsylvania, even towards Cleveland. And this whole area will be under the gun for thunderstorms later today and tonight. And yeah, we're seeing a lot of rain up here. Looks like it's warm enough for all rain, even up into northern Maine. It's in the upper 30s. Pretty warm, and where it's not raining in New York and back here in the 60s, but where it's raining it's 40s and 50s. So it's kind of a raw day in Syracuse and Buffalo. All right, and as we head south, real nice weather, 70s and 80s all through the southeast, through the mid-Atlantic, and even into Florida. So, yeah, nice weather down there. So, that's about it, really. Let's see, what happened to my, oh, why are things moving around on me? Okay, there's our, we'll try to talk about that in a minute. I accidentally did not load my correct thing here. Okay, I got the right model. So we'll look at, so this is what's going on now. So this is what we saw. It looks like maybe they'll get something breaking out in Wyoming. I didn't really see much on satellite. So we'll see if that pans out there and where not too many people live, but maybe northern Wyoming might get some rain or snow. Otherwise, not much out here. Maybe a little bit up there. I think there was a little bit out there in that part of Montana, but a little bit of light snow. But here's our main weather producer. So we got this front moving through the northeast and down, dragging down. So by this evening, it'll be from Ohio into Illinois and through Missouri and Kansas. So still going to be pretty, windy behind it, 30, 40 mile an hour northerly winds. And then we'll see these winds coming up out of the plains in Texas there as we go through the evening. And this looks like our threat area for thunderstorms. On the northern edge, it'll be mainly rain. Looks like a little snow on the northern end. Most of that will be up in Canada. It might clip far, way up north, Caribou, Maine, maybe, and a little bit up into, Wisconsin and northern Michigan. So a little bit of light snow. But yeah, showers and thunderstorms. Some are going to be on the rough and tumble side. And as we go through tonight, they'll kind of creep down through the mid-Atlantic and even down towards the Midwest and into Missouri and parts of Kansas there. We might see some ongoing thunderstorms tonight. And as we head through the morning, there still might be some ongoing storms, although probably won't be as much severe going on by the morning. So, at least according to the Storm Prediction Center with the National Weather Service that forecasts those things. So here's our convective outlook for today. That means our thunderstorm outlook for those who don't know what convective means. Convective is a meteorological term for thunderstorms. So those type of storms. So we got an enhanced risk from northern Ohio, like Cleveland, and down towards Dayton and to Indianapolis and Champaign, Illinois, even over, into nor hitting northern Missouri a little bit. Marginal risk for Kansas City and St. Louis. And then that threat extends all the way to the tip of New York and yeah, at least the western half of Pennsylvania, or maybe a little more. So yeah, so you'll be under the gun here for some severe weather tonight, today and tonight. Looks like pretty fair threat for tornadoes, winds. Looks like a high threat and hail. So yeah, so pretty much all modes of severe wind and hail will be the highest threat, but can't rule out a few tornadoes out there. So that's what you got to watch out for the rest of the afternoon into tonight. Um, as we head into tomorrow, the convective outlook, I'll show you. They're just showing general thunderstorms, and like I've been telling you, you can never say there's not going to be one or two severe storms. So, and that'll be from Virginia, West Virginia, Kentucky, kind of towards southern Illinois and back towards the North Carolina and parts of Tennessee. So that area you'll have to watch out for tomorrow, at least for thunderstorms. So one or two might misbehave. So even though they don't have a threat painted there, that's how it is with thunderstorms. So as we go through the day on Thursday, that cold front continues to drift south in that same general area we were talking about. So it'll be rainy and stormy through these parts through Friday. So the end of your Friday won't be too nice if you live in, DC area or, in parts of Virginia and North Carolina, Tennessee. So Nashville going to be raining or storming, one of the two. So yeah, outside of that on Friday, I mean, look at the rest of the weather. It looks real quiet out here. Just maybe a little snow showers up there in UP of Michigan, maybe northern little clipper up in Canada, but yeah, not much to speak of there. Looking into Saturday, so it looks like by Friday night, Saturday morning, there'll be some lingering rain over the coastal Carolina, and then it kind of drifts out to sea. It looks like there could be some showers and thunderstorms out over Florida during Saturday. Yeah, and then we got this clipper kind of affecting that, Michigan, maybe a mix of rain and snow into northern Wisconsin and into Michigan. So that same area that keeps getting doesn't want to quite warm up, and that's because the jet stream's kind of just been sitting up there for a week or two now. So yeah. So that's for Saturdays. We heading into Sunday. Look at that. So there's going to be showers and thunderstorms over Florida. Maybe some creeping up towards New Orleans, southern Louisiana. Some stuff coming off the little disturbance coming off the Gulf. Nothing tropical related, just a little trough in the atmosphere. And there might be some, pockets of rain way up north here in the northwest, but not too many people live out there, so there may be a little bit of rain near Seattle, but yeah, nothing to speak of. Oh, and then look at this. So we're starting to see something develop out here in the southwest. Looks like some showers and storms may develop in parts of New Mexico and Arizona as we head into Sunday. So we're getting some moisture coming in. I believe there's an upper level disturbance moving through. And as we get farther into spring and heading towards summer, you start seeing more and more of those thunderstorms kind of popping up, and then they eventually head into their monsoon season. So this isn't quite monsoon season, but this is an upper level feature with some moisture kind of coming off, the Pacific down here. So yeah, so that's what we got going on. We won't talk about next week yet. Looks like there might be another storm. You know what? I'll just give you a hint here. Yeah, they were hinting at something midweek up across the plains, but it looks like it's a lot of uncertainty. It looks like there's going to be a storm out there by maybe Wednesday, Thursday across the plains. Some snow, but yesterday they had the snow clear in Nebraska, and now it's way up north. So it's still a week out. So really, take that with a grain of salt. There could be a storm coming through, but who gets what is all up in the air. So you just be aware there might be something next week. So But keep your eyes and ears open for the weather. Go look at whatever your preferred weather app is. One thing I will warn you about weather apps is some are, fairly good. Some aren't as reliable. It depends on where they get their weather data from. I think they're getting better with those, but you probably pulled up the weather and then something different happened that day. So there you go. So that's why you need to listen to me, right? Because I'm an actual meteorologist. So because they just pull stuff out of different data sources and it's not, um, you know, massaged by a actual meteorologist. So yeah, so let's show you this here. I wanted to show you, not, we won't do that one. Let's end this with this tropical cyclone that's going on there by Australia, because that thing is looking pretty decent right now. Tropical cyclone, no, okay, let's clear my mouth. Got some stuff in there. Tropical cyclone Narelle. So there's a nice eye formed on that thing. Look at that, pretty well defined. Yeah, and it's right near the tip there. Here it looks like this is what, midday here, so it's middle of the night out there, probably 2, 3, I don't know, 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe early morning. But yeah, they're gonna, looks like the western sides near Learmonth, I think that's how you pronounce it, Learmonth, is getting pounded by these outer bands of these heavy bands from the tropical cyclone, which is the equivalent of a hurricane. This is definitely a hurricane if it was over and on our side of the world, but this is down by Australia. So yeah, very well. This is a very impressive looking one. I haven't seen one quite this strong down by Australia in quite a while. So very well defined eye and lots of nice looking bands. So it looks pretty on satellite. Not so pretty if you're a mariner. You don't want to be anywhere near that sucker out there, and you don't really want to be on land, at least near the coastal areas. I mean, inland you're probably okay unless you get some real flooding rains and you'll be in a threat area. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. So that looks like that's getting ready to make landfall here later on today. That's probably for tomorrow. They're the next day over there. So what is it, Friday morning over there? So probably sometime on Friday morning they'll have landfall. And let's see what well, actually, I gotta go back here to the previous thing and we'll see what their forecast is. So yeah, it looks like it's around, 130 miles an hour or so. So it's a pretty strong hurricane and it's coming on shore and it looks like it's gonna hug the coast here through tomorrow and then kind of start picking up in speed as it heads across down towards what is that? I can't read that. Is that Germantown? I don't know what the name of that. It's north of Perth, but it is coming on shore near Learmonth, and that's where that solar observatory, where they observe the sun, is. So yeah, so that's like they're going to take a pretty close to a direct hit. So that'll be interesting. Maybe go look up the Australian news and see if you can find out anything about what happened over there tomorrow or the next day. All right, so that's what's going on there. Yeah, I looked at the odds, but I won't show you them. They were showing like, sustained winds about 30 miles an hour still on a couple obs down in this area. But that's because the eye wall hasn't, the strongest winds haven't gotten to where the, you know, surface weather observations are located. So, anyways, that's all I've got today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I might be a little busy this weekend, so I don't know if I'm gonna get any videos in until maybe Saturday or Sunday, and then the following week it might be hit and miss too. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, hey, appreciate you for being here. I appreciate all my, I think I'm up to 47 or 49 subscribers. So thank you, and maybe you can be the next 40,000 to join. We would love that. So. This is my passion. I love weather. I'm not out here to make any money from you guys or from YouTube anyways. So this is Wixman Ray out.